You got gravity taking you, you've got rocks that you're hitting, you're going over big airs, possibly. There's just so many other things you're exposed to once you get caught in an avalanche. I mean, you're just fighting for your life. You can't breathe, there's snow going down your throat, you're bouncing, you're getting thrown, you get thrown over cliffs, you get disoriented. It's one of the scarier things that's ever happened. It's like worse than getting caught in turbulent water in the ocean.
Well, when you get caught, it feels like being caught in a big ocean wave or a hole in the river. It's very similar. What is different is when it slows down and stops. That happens very quickly, and you're cemented in place.
I tell you, coming in and doing this search, my heart was pounding and my hands were shaking, and I have a lot of years of experience with a beacon from guiding and ski patrolling, and I really appreciated having had that experience, because it's no time to not be totally sure about what it's telling you, because you know they're under there and they're not breathing, and it's a scary experience.
There's plenty of air in the snow to breathe, that's not the problem, but the problem is that the carbon dioxide builds up in the snow around your mouth, kind of like breathing into a paper bag. You pass out pretty quickly. So once you're buried, you only have about 15 minutes to live.
Every time we go on to a new location with a new group of athletes, there is a beacon test, if not several. The main thing is just knowing how to use this equipment so that when something goes wrong, your focus is finding that person, not going, oh yeah, how do I turn this thing on, and that type of stuff. My biggest thing is, I think if you want to get out there and do this kind of stuff and be in the backcountry, you need to have the knowledge and the equipment to do so. And don't overstep your boundaries. If you feel like you're pushing it too far, then you probably are.
The past 10 or 15 years in the sled industry, you've seen absolutely crazy changes in the way a sled performs. You know, 10 years ago when it had snowed 3 or 4 feet of snow, we'd play in the meadows. We never made it to the hills. You just couldn't get to them. And even if you got to them, you could only make it up them 10 or 15 feet.
We just kind of went up every time. We didn't check anything as we went up. We just went up blind, as you will. And I knew exactly what Trace was going to do. I had the video camera, so I thought it'd be perfect. You know, why not film him going up a completely untouched hill, high mark, first tracks. It's perfect. That's what it's all about.
Of what we knew of the conditions, we knew we weren't going to be climbing like crazy all day long, but I wanted to get one good climb in just for the excitement of it. Got about 2/3 of the way up and I saw a crack, and I knew I created an avalanche, you know, and it was like a big ocean wave, and all of a sudden it just stopped, and he disappeared in it.
And by the time I pan out and realize this thing is it's huge. It's broken all the way across the ridge. The biggest fear for me was that we were both buried.
I did not know if I'd see my buddy alive again, you know.
I remember feeling my chest being rubbed and smacked, like kind of vigorously. And I remember hearing, it was Trace was yelling, saying, I remember him hollering my name, and I was extremely lucky. Every morning before I go riding, I'm going to call, I'm going to find out what I need to know. There's people that do this for a living that are there to help and to kind of teach us and tell us what we need to watch out for. And had I known that, we probably would not have even been anywhere near that hill. We would have recognized the signs and been where we were supposed to be, and could have still had a blast.
When you're looking at avalanche terrain, the most important thing, of course, is slope steepness. How steep is that slope? Between 35 and 45 degrees is where almost all avalanches occur. So that's the good news. The bad news is that that's exactly the kind of slopes that we like to recreate on, is between 35 and 45 degrees. That's like a black diamond slope at a ski area.
Inside of the ski area boundaries, the ski patrollers knock down the avalanches every morning before people arrive, so they make it very, very safe inside of ski area boundaries. When you step outside of a ski area boundary, when you go across that magic little rope line, I mean, you're stepping into the Stone Age. There's nobody out there doing any avalanche control. You have to be your own avalanche expert.
I take a lot of precautions in the backcountry. I mean, first and foremost, you got to be cautious with the lines you pick and how aggressive you do them. I mean, you got to commit to making your turns and making your moves for sure, but it's not a place to really try new things or do something that you think's even a little bit above your ability.
We often feel too good. I mean, we kind of lose sight of the hazards out there, and we kind of feel this euphoria and this great feeling. So what we need to do is step back, look at things objectively, and even though it's a beautiful day and we're having a great time, we can still get caught in an avalanche.
It was so immense and powerful in the intensity of the reaction of what the snow did, and the situation of watching this friend of mine just be completely engulfed within a second is the most amazing experience that I've ever had. He just was flying and having, I mean, a great run. It was fantastic. And even when he hit the spot and the whole thing came down, it's just like a picture, turning the TV on and off. It's like one day he was just skiing like crazy, and the next moment he was, you know, gone. For me, the whole episode was really about trying to find somebody. And just knowing I wasn't going to find him.
The thing I like most about backcountry snowboarding is the powder. That's why we go back there. We're going back there for fresh track.
You see all the radical footage in these action sports movies, but what you don't see is all the preparation that goes on behind the scenes. The athletes and guides spend a considerable amount of time honing their mountain and avalanche skills. This experience gives them the knowledge to know what's good to go and what isn't. And on some days that means dropping in on everything, and on other days that means turning around and going home.
So learning to be avalanche smart doesn't mean you never ride big lines, but it does mean being able to figure out when it's safe to ride in steep terrain and when it isn't.